In this video, we're going to talk about Pancake Bunny finance and the recent exploit that it just faced and what this means and what we could potentially see and why. Now, before I go ahead and dive into this, what I will say is there's a lot of FUD inside of the Telegram group and around the community in general right now, and given for right reasons. If you see something go from $300, $200, all the way back down to $6 in an instant, you're going to want to go ahead and know what's going on. And more than anything, you're going to assume the worst. So this leaves room for a lot of negative people to come in and really try to devalue and also harm the project. So what exactly happened? We need to dive into this first. Well, first thing is first is that we want to take a look at the community on Twitter straight from Pancake Bunny themselves. And we can see right over here, 2 hours ago, or I guess 2 hours ago over here, today at 10:34 UTC, Pancake Bunny was attacked with an economic exploit that crashed the price of Bunny. So 3 things to keep in mind: they determined the root of the exploit, they're working on a reimbursement plan, and withdrawals and deposits have been frozen temporarily until the security increases, which is a little bit of an alarm or sound of alarm for me when it comes down to looking at this project, aside from the anonymous team as well. Now, let's break down the facts as to historically what other projects that have been hacked or exploited, what they've encountered, and what happened to their price as well. However, Bunny does have a proven track record, and what's most important for you to remember is that Binance Labs themselves led a $1.6 million strategic investment round for Pancake Bunny, the innovative team behind Pancake Bunny. But not just Binance Labs, you also have IDEO Co-Lab, Spark Labs Korea, and Handshake co-founder Andrew Lee go ahead and participate in the round of funding for Bunny. Now, that's really good because it actually gives us some sort of notoriety of people that are backing this. Are they responsible for what happened to Bunny? Are they responsible for Bunny at all? No, they're just responsible for giving money to Bunny and essentially going ahead and foreseeing or making sure that the project gets developed. So what does this tell me exactly? Well, somebody needed to have some sort of conversation with the dev team and the founders behind Bunny. So it's not necessarily like they're completely anonymous. It's not like these investors blindfolded themselves, threw a dart and said, sure, this is how much you're getting and we're going to give it to, and randomly picked Bunny. So they needed to talk in order to go ahead and move their money around. So I believe somebody somewhere knows exactly who is the founder and the team behind Bunny. So that is somewhat reassuring to me, knowing that Bunny is an anonymous team, and that goes against one of my principles of investing, which is know the team, make sure they're public, and make sure they have a good vision. However, the other thing we need to consider is the fact that they have billions of dollars locked in their vaults. Now, if you see right over here, back in the TechCrunch article, now has more than 30,000 daily average users and has accumulated more than $2.1 billion in TVL since its launch in December 2020. So again, it's at 1.3 now, and I do believe the moment they unlock the vaults to the public again after the exploit, we will see this number decrease as people go ahead and remove their staked positions just out of fear, out of panic, and that's natural, that's okay. But now let's actually turn back to their Twitter really quickly and see that they're not leaving us in the dark. Now, if you go to look at their Telegram is literally FUD central. It is negativity everywhere. It's actually really bad. So I would recommend sticking away from the Telegram as of right now until they get that cleaned up, because it's just way too negative and it would scare you from holding your position for a longer period of time. Now, back to what I was saying with their Twitter, they have been keeping the community updated. And it's really good, the fact that they've been keeping the community updated, because if it was a rug pull, what in their minds would make them say, hey, let's just keep everybody on, just kind of like stringing them along when we already took their money? We could have easily just gone ahead and shut down the Twitter. They could have said something like that. They could have removed all the social platforms. Instead, they're not too worried about all the FUD that's happening in the Telegram. They're not worried about all the naysayers on Twitter. They are tackling the problem at hand, the bigger problem here at hand. So what does this mean essentially? Well, this means that obviously the price has tanked. The price has tanked back to almost where it started, right? The $5, $6, and then it literally hit a low of, I think it was $6 or so $6.13. And as you can see, the price just plummeted. But we need to take a look at other projects that are trusted, that are historically, proven to have decent backers. And the problem with this comparison I'm about to give you is the fact that the team of this project of Paid Network is public. So we're kind of comparing apples to oranges here, and I get that. So before people start going ahead and attacking me saying it doesn't make sense, you're comparing a team that's anonymous versus a team that's not, the only real reason that I'm going ahead and making this comparison is because if there was no funding for Bunny, if Binance and other investors didn't trust them enough in order to give them their money to build this platform, then I would go ahead and just wrap this up and say, okay, good luck guys, and I hope for the best. But because we have legitimate companies, legitimate institutions backing Bunny, I do believe there's an argument to be made here that yes, there technically is and are some faces behind the project Bunny. So if we take a look at something like Paid that also went ahead and experienced a hack, we want to go ahead and see what happened after, because history doesn't tend to repeat itself, history rhymes with itself. So let's just take a look at Paid Network. We can see obviously it was open, it was listed, and then we have this rally up and a typical price action of a project, very typical, right? So what happens over here? Well, Paid Network gets hacked. And for a few days, we can see from the, we can see from the 5th right over here, all the way until the 10th. So 5 days, the price is fluctuating, and it looks like the price just keeps on going down and down, and it looks like there's no recovery for this. However, Paid Network kept everybody updated. They were very transparent, and they were right on the problem, and they looked for solutions immediately. And here's what you have to understand is that these exploits happen, and if you look at something like TrueBit as well, TrueBit upon launch also had a little bit of an exploit, which again, I wasn't too aware of what the exploit was, but there was an exploit that had a lot of people worried. And you could see the dip if you took a look at the TrueBit chart also, but we're taking a look at Paid Network. So Paid just kept going sideways, even down for a few days, and then it restored back at its own original price, if you will. It kind of stabilized. Then it went ahead and it pushed a new all-time high with Bitcoin rallying. Now here's the other thing we need to consider is that this is an altcoin, there's a lot of volatility, you need to know when to get in and out of it. But not only that, you're probably like, well Dan, it looks like the price is dropping now, and you're absolutely correct. But if we really want to go ahead and take a look at the overall market, then my friend, guess what? We can say that everything is dropping. Everything seems to have the same exact trend here. Even if we go and look at something like, Pancake Swap. Let's take a look at how well Pancake Swap and what their chart looks like. Wow, it's dropping as well. What do you know? So I don't want that argument as to, well, Paid is just dropping. We need to understand that Paid is a good project, Paid has a good team, and Paid also has partners backing them as well. The only thing missing from Pancake that is very scary for me is an actual public team and who the actual founder is. If you guys know who it is, you can leave the comments. You can leave it in the comments. But I am not 100% sure. Maybe I just didn't do enough research for this video. But we need to look historically at what happens with exploits and hacks and how they work. So again, if we go and take a look at the Bunny chart, we can see right over here, let me just make this a little bit bigger for everybody so you can see. We can see that there's a lot of big buy orders coming in, like massive buy orders that are coming in. And we can also see what happened here when somebody sold, and that somebody was the hacker. And there's a slow climb. I got in right when I heard about this. I would think I was like 20 minutes into the exploit, got in around like $10, $11, and it's gonna climb back up. This is a legitimate project, is what people need to understand and what people need to grasp, is that it's not something that is going to rug. Yeah, there was $1 billion rugged, but essentially what you have to keep in mind, if they were going to rug, they wouldn't wait for $1 billion. They wouldn't wait all this time to rug. They would probably rug really small at like 100, 200 million. You have to understand that hackers that scammers, they're not out there with a lot of patience. Scammers want money really fast, right? So That's why there's always these scams that pull money from people, whether it's through email, whether it's through phone. They want money fast. They're not patient enough to wait and build something in order to go ahead and scam people. Unless you're Enron or Bernie Madoff, then there's an argument to be made there. But when it comes to crypto, I do believe that if somebody's going to rug, they're not going to rug with that massive amount of companies and backers backing them that are reliable. And I also don't believe that with the amount of building and the development work that goes into actually building a platform like this, a yield farm optimizer, they would have rugged a long time ago. So I think all the FUD about rugging and whatnot is very false, and I do believe that we will probably see the same exact pattern happen over the next few days. There's going to be a lot of FUD, there's going to be a lot of questions, there's going to be a lot of fixing, and it's going to happen for the next few days. And what's going to need to happen is that Bunny is going to need to burn a lot of tokens because of the simple fact that the exploit also minted a ton of tokens. So with a ton of tokens, that means that the price definitely gets driven down for each and every token. So with that being said, Bunny's currently working on solutions, and that's what they should be doing. They shouldn't be on Twitter every 5 minutes calming everybody. They should be working on solutions and giving updates, and that's exactly what they're doing, which is exactly what I would want to see in a team that is looking to progress and move forward with a solution to something bad that just happened. I quickly want to glance over Bunny's chart so you can get an idea of where I think we're heading back to and how long. And again, this isn't financial advice. I can't tell the future, but this is just what I think just by looking at previous history of other exploits and other hacks and what I'm expecting. So with that being said, we can see that even with Bitcoin pushing down, before it had this massive push down, we were at 150 bucks, right? And then it literally just dropped. You can see exactly what happened and where. I don't mean to laugh, but I digress. It held around $200-300 even with Bitcoin pushing down. And we hit all-time highs of $477. So if you take a look at something like Paid went on to push a new all-time high after it recovered. And not only that, but I also have seen other projects that have been hacked. Some of them just simply didn't recover. That's also because, like I said before, they didn't have good use cases. They also didn't have the backers that Bunny has. So when it comes down to all the factors that go into whether or not Bunny is rug pulling, I don't think they're rug pulling. I could be wrong here, and I hope I'm not wrong, that they aren't, but you have to have a little bit more faith in the development team because this is a lot of pressure, and they do understand, and investors also understand that this is some people's life savings on the line, and I also get that as well, but I can't control much of what Bunny does. So with all that being said, the whole premise here is don't panic. Just check back in a couple days. Let the Bunny team do what they do. Now, there's speculation of new contracts, which yes, will hurt the Bunny price. That'll drive the token down very far. But I do believe they are taking that into account, and you guys don't necessarily need to panic just yet. Can you be worried? Yes. Should you lose sleep over it? Well, you shouldn't be investing money into something that you don't necessarily have the potential to lose. This is crypto, right? And this is highly speculative, especially in the DeFi sector. So with that being said, those are just some of the simple facts that I have for you and some of the mindset that I need you to adopt in order to not scare yourself. And please don't give in to the FUD. Rather than freaking out right now, what I would recommend you do is going ahead and using your logical brain and seeing all the facts that go in to Bunny and everything behind it. Let the devs do their work, stay up to date, and don't forget to not invest your life savings into one very highly speculative play in the DeFi sector. There are other safer plays that you can get into, and we are currently in a dip. So once we're out of this dip and once we start to rally up again with Bitcoin, we can definitely see some incredible gains coming from Bunny as long as the project recovers. And I do believe there's a ton of potential for the project to recover. And I hope I'm not wrong, and I hope this video ages like fine wine. So with that being said, have a very good and safe day. I'll catch you soon.